45 seconds to go. Both teams are early. We're all running away from Goretta, going for the hook.
Really running out of runway here.
Yeah, really interesting here. Seems like there's a bit of time to kill coming in here. So Bernardo's trying to kill as much time as possible. Goretta's trying to push her and just make sure she can't lay this pin. Looks like it's going to be a very tight lay into this pin here.
Brolt's not one to be pushed around though, so let's see if she can get out of this.
I think she might. 20 seconds to go. Overlap. Goretta to windward there. Brault has just hit the brakes. She might have a slow start at the pin, but nonetheless. Oh, now Goretta's tack. That's going to allow Nicole to flop onto port as well.
But she is so slow here. I think Goretta's is going to build speed, and then as soon as that gun goes, you'll see it just there. He's going to go into a high mode because he knows Bernard's slow, so he's going to try and close that gauge as quick as possible.
Yeah,
force attack.
Brault's in a really tricky position here. If I was Goretta, I would just be trying to stay high and fast as possible. Yeah, which is forcing Nicole to tack. So Nicole has done a down speed tack, and let's see if the left pays off for her at all. Goretta has decided to match Nicole, and Nicole is tacking back and trying to get out of phase with Goretta. Zach, what does out of phase mean?
Yeah, so when you're out of phase, it means that both boats are in opposite tacks. So the idea is to stay in phase or within the same tack as the other team to make sure you can kind of cover them. Like what he did just there, kind of tack on top of them and then cover them on. And you'll see as soon as she tacks, he'll go. So often the comm on the boat will be like, if they go, we go. So the crew knows as soon as they start to hear some sheets going from another team, they know attack's going to come really, really soon.
Back into the pre-start, it's Wickwire. Wickwire's got to be looking at the scorecard right about now, since we're into the second round robin, and thinking, all right, if I'm going to stay in this Congressional Cup and live the dream, he's got to start winning, and he's going to have to beat Eric Monning here, who's on the right of him in the dial-up. And Monning's been on fire today, 9 wins so far, sitting in second place. Here we go.
Yeah, I'd be feeling on top of the world if I was Monin right now, but as we know, we have Steve Flam on Wickwire's boat, which is a lot of experience, so that definitely counts for a lot.
Do you remember who I picked as the sleeper cell on day one before we started?
I think it's a good pick.
Who was it?
I seem to remember it being Monin.
I believe it was. 23 years. And that's not to say that it's going to stay like that, because Chris Poole's still leading his match over Bjorn Hansen as they head back upwind. And who are these two that are really close? Is that still Nicole Brault and not giving up at all? Because they have a tacking duel going upwind. That's going to be tiring just to watch.
Yeah, as a crew, when we get into these tacking drills, it can be super tiring and very stressful. It actually takes a while to load the winches, and sometimes your skipper will just throw an attack when the boat's not ready. So it's really important that Nicole and Goretta are making sure their crew are prepared before going into attack.
Zach, that was... I speak fluent female. I've been married for 22 years. That was a subliminal message directed at you. You missed it completely, went over your head. But am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
You see, what that meant was you need to give your crew more time to set up. You see that? That's a complaint filed with HR.
He never listens, but thank you for spelling it out for him, Tucker.
Yes. You can, well, anyway, baby steps.
As we look at the two kites coming towards our pre-start, though, we have Bernston leading Hood, I think, back down to the finish line.
Yep.
So there's been a lead change at some point on that weather leg.
Bernston has come alive today, that's for sure.
Yeah, Yoni looks pretty happy here. Let's see if he can get past these boats in this match. He looks okay.
He's eating his Wheaties for breakfast. Wheaties, we have that over here. You have Vegemite.
Like
much
Vegemite.
Yeah.
You also have a Wheat Bix as well in Australia. So make sure you get Wheat Bix in the morning.
Yeah, Aussie kids are Wheat Bix kids.
33 seconds. Monan's going to try and use the signal boat. Claim that he's inside at it. Nope, maybe not. Is he going to be able to get a jibe in? There's a lot of screaming and yelling going on. Minute and 20 seconds to go. Sorry, I was a bit early. I thought it was 20 seconds to go.
There's a lot of energy on the pier right now from a certain group. I can see arms flying.
Good job. She's been awake for 2 hours and already hasn't missed a thing.
Like I said, needed to get my beauty sleep, Tucker.
It's worked. Good job. Wickwire, would you attack there? I don't know. Okay, he's got enough time. He's just figured that out, too. He's going to put his bow down. 50 seconds to go. Both teams very early.
James waving at the crowd again, give a little bit of a wave back at him. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
We've actually got a few Royal Sydney members in the audience. On bow 3, James Hayho is representing Royal Sydney. Shout out to James Mayo, who's in the crowd.
So I believe James Mayo actually won the last Etchel Worlds? I'm not wrong?
Yeah, let's give him that. I wasn't following along.
Okay, back in the match here. Just to bring you refocus, the ADD school here. Monin is to leeward. Wickwire puts his bow down 10 seconds to go. Wickwire went down a little bit too early to my eye and is going to, split. That's going to be slow at the start. Meanwhile, Monin with a nice speed build down towards the pin. A little bit early is Monin. Nope, okay, he's got it.
Although Wickwire threw in a very harsh tackle, he's done very well to keep his boat speed throughout this whole maneuver and also not be over.
And he's got the right-hand side, so possibly an advantage to Wickwire there.
Yeah. So a small initial loss and maybe a long-term gain.
Yeah. Monin probably almost a length ahead. Wickwire to the right-hand side. Good breeze over here. Monin sees it as well. He's going to stay with his opponent. That's going to be pretty close when the two teams converge. The only negative for Peter, and he hasn't sailed here in Long Beach much, is you cannot be that low on port and head towards that oil island. At some point, you got to get out of the lull that's down there. Monin knows that. Monin, he's taken the correct line in towards the oil island, I think, maybe.
Yeah, same tack, very different angles. So it'll be interesting to see when Wickwire comes back, will he be on a lift or will he hook into the knock that Monin's in the moment?
It never works in the far low right corner there. He'll find out, though. He's Canadian. Coming back into the start here, Tilly is on starboard.
We have a change of mark to green. What does it take?
Thank you.
Remember it?
Green, Max is mean.
So is this the final flight of the day?
Yep, as far as we know. Ooh, what's going on upwind? Holy moly, that's Poole. Poole was getting rolled by Hansen there. He didn't like it, so he's luffing him. Hansen Spinnaker's all over the place. Can't tell if there's a flag yet, but Kirk will let us know. Poole is fighting to hold on to his lead. Hansen is another team that seems to have kind of woken up this afternoon.
Yeah,
but not before Poole pulls ahead.
Yeah, that was excellent control of the kite just there. That was really well done. Looks like textbook, but we've got Kirk with the binoculars and he'll give us a bit of information about what just happened.
That's where Chris Poole said, I'm sorry, I know you've done this event a few times, but I am the reigning champion. Let me just wipe my feet on your floor mat there. Still hasn't gotten the Spinnaker going there for Hansen. Meanwhile, in our pre-start, what's going on? Tapper swap things around as the port boat. Now all of a sudden he's to the right of his opponent and to leeward. Yeah, can he keep the overlap?
Cole is slow, so Tapper is quite slow, but if he can keep that overlap and keep Tilly to windward of him, he's going to be in a really good spot here.
How about I take Tilly, you take Cole?
I'll take Cole.
Wait a minute. Okay. All right, fine. You say tomato.
So my aim right now is to maintain that overlap on you so you can't get down to the play zone. So this play zone is this kind of like period between where you guys on the pier are and where the start boat is.
Yeah, luckily I had a bit of an obstruction there that I was able to use to get myself out of that situation. And now I'm just going to re-establish and start following you, Zach.
Yeah, I think I'll let you go there because I knew you'd be slow. You have to do one very quick tack and one very quick jibe. So I know that I've got you lined up here. I'm on starboard. I'm holding my course. This could be all on you here.
Yeah, Rocco's pushed the boundaries a little bit here. I think he might have thought that the obstacle might have come into play again.
Whoa, that was close. Very cool, calm and collected from Cole there, trying to make sure that his bow is behind Rocco and making sure he's not going to get down into that play zone.
You know, it's cute when these two role play. This is a step in therapy that we've worked on in couples therapy, and you guys are doing very well.
Yeah, we think we're a little bit young for role play, but
Apparently not for therapy, though. I think I'm going to need therapy after this week.
I do think so, yeah.
Yeah, Zach, you're on Tapper's boat. You're in a pretty good position here. I'm still pretty high in the box, whereas you're in a bit of a more controlling position, I'd say.
1 minute.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of in this last minute, just kind of timing my approach if I can. So again, using this obstruction here that we have coming down the pier as we talked about before, it's kind of like a little safety net. Especially if you're leading in a little bit early, you have the opportunity to kill a little bit of time and still keep your rights.
Tapper might have opened his transom up a little bit there for an overlap, has he, or no? Not yet. No, just.
It's close. I mean, you can hear the Italians for sure, but
you can always hear the Italians.
Always.
The Italians are yelling in Spanish, French, and Italian.
And the Italians fly the flag before they get out of bed in the morning.
They wake up and choose violence.
So my aim right now is to try and luck you so that you cannot start on port. So if you have to start on starboard, you'll be right in my gas and I'll have lots of control.
It's not very nice of you, but you've done a good job.
It's not, but I mean, there's no friends in the race course.
5 seconds to go.
Trust me,
Tapper
I hate being in your
gonna
gas
win this
sack.
start. The bowman saying, go, go, go. Here we go. Last match is in play. Rocco Attili's in a bit of trouble.
This is a really hard position for me to be in. As you can see, Tapper's team is quite locked in, and they're doing a really good job of forcing me to tack and then just matching or going with me.
Oh, on the back foot, Attili's crew should have been ready for that tack, and they weren't.
Yeah, I think I executed that attack much better than you did. I think this is where the roll is coming on.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a...
Powerful position?
Yeah, you're in a more powerful position than me. I'm just going to try and get out of phase with you. And it looks like I'm engaging now.
You two really need to play nice together, I tell you.
So you can see here, both boats coming out of these tacks very, very low. It's really important to get these boats up to speed. They kind of like to sit at this kind of 6 knots upwind. So imagine how heavy these boats are and how hard it is to generate enough power in the rig to go 6 knots.
Attili with his bow lower, trying to just keep his air clear. That's the good news. Bad news, he's losing.
Yeah, if I was Rocco, I probably wouldn't have gotten as tied up in that with Tapper as he did. But yeah, Rocco's doing a really good job of extending out and just trying to get clear air and sail his own race. Just keeping it close while he can.
As bottom mark, it looks like Monin is leading Wickwire round the gate mark. It's quite a bit of a lead they've got there.
Monin has really stepped it up today. There's no question about it. And Goretta in the match behind is leading Brault. Brault always within 2 lengths. I don't think I've seen Nicole in any match so far less than 2 lengths behind.
And an excellent Simo drive from Nicole. I can't see if there's an overlap there, but Nicole is very much in this.
She's right here, Lisa. Oh, there she is. Hey, nice job, Ace.
This to the finish.
So it'll be very interesting to see if that front boat can stick the jibe in. So the back boat's going to try and get nice and close. And they have 2 options here. Either they prevent the jibe or they allow it to happen, but then they're right on top of them with the spinnaker and taking all the air.
Yeah, I'm going to try and take all the air from you, Zach. Let's say I'm Nicole and you are... Goretta.
Yep, so I'm just might have to do a final dive for this line, see if I can get my air coming from behind Barot, but it's going to be very difficult.
Spinnaker collapsing. It's looking tough for Goretta here.
This is going to be a photo finish coming to the line. Keep an eye on that committee vote for which flag do they hoist.
Spinnaker just filling for Goretta now. He puts the bow down within a couple feet. He's got it, but only just. Nicole Brault just keeps coming stronger and stronger in every single race. She's going to get a few that are going to go her way for sure. That almost was one.
Congratulations, Greta. Well done, Nicole. Super close racing.
It's great.
All right.
Well, then I said against it 20 years ago. I remember what was hanging off your backstay, but I'll leave it at that. Right? Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the room. Okay, we just took a little break there. We're back into the action at the top mark. Purple Spinnaker's up first. Dave Hood, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent hoist by Dave Hood, closely followed by...
The trailing boat.
Yeah, the trailing boat.
There you go.
Otherwise known as Monin.
Looks like Monin's had a bit of a late
No,
hoist.
Monin's ahead of Wickwire, sorry, in this match. So they're getting overlapped.
So we see ourselves having a little bit of a fleet race happening with the two matches coming nice and close to each other.
All right, I apologize. That's Tapper out in the lead, heading downwind in the Purple Spinnaker. Great, yep, and if Tapper can hold on to this win, it'll put him decisively into third so far in flight 12 of 18.
Tapper's not in a bad position here. He's further away from the other boats. There's a lot of crowdedness near the other three. So if I was Carl, I'd just be sailing my own race here. I believe there's no penalties in that race as well, so he's in a pretty good spot.
Purple against orange. So just to give you guys an idea, purple racing orange is Tapper leading downwind over Attili. That leaves Black Spinnaker leading, that's Monin, leading his match over Wickwire. Monin has been undefeated today. Tapper hasn't done so bad as well.
So we'll see a nice and early drop from Cole here. Again, once you're in front and you've got a bit of space to give, you don't have to be so hectic with your maneuvers. Try and calm it down, save the crew's energy, make sure everything's safe.
Definitely, and as a crew, when I'm at the front of the boat, all I want to do on the downwind is get that kite down in time for a nice clean rounding, whereas Zach at the back of the boat wants to keep that kite up for as long as possible. He wants to get all the gains for as long as possible.
Now we talked about this in therapy. We don't blame. We understand the other position on the boat, right? You two, we've been working on this all day.
He just needs to know that I'm right.
Even when you're wrong, you're right, Zach. Just admit it. We can move on from this. Get uncomfortable. Yes, ma'am. Into the finish. It's going to be Monin yet again. He has been undefeated the entire afternoon, sliding into second place comfortably now behind Poole overall in the regatta.
That was a very comfortable win with quite an early kite drop there. So, I mean, you can lose it from there. I've seen that happen before.
Really?
Sadly, yes.
Were you on the boat?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And isn't your job to drop the spinnaker? Just checking.
No, actually it isn't.
See, Zach, we're going to leave that one for another session.
That was not me, I'll have to admit. That might have been another skip.